Hello, Identify gamers. It is time to continue with some more C and Koa matches. Today, we're going to be watching day 2, set number 2, which is going to be between GW and Wolves. Very excited to take a look at this match, but I'm not alone. I have a special guest with me this time. It is not Zeus IDV, but this time we have the pro coach of the best team on the NAEU server joining me. Say hello to RVL Aron.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here.
So this is the first time you've been here in a video, I believe. You've been on the live streams before, but for videos, this is your first time, yeah?
Yes. Yes, indeed. I feel very welcome.
Welcome to my totally awesome room that's not just a bunch of stuff thrown together.
Trust me, your room is already a miles better than mine.
I'll take that. That's something. So for the newer fans that are just now joining in because of Koa, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yes. So I'm RVL Aron, ex B4U Aron. I've been the coach of B4U for the past 3 years. I've been the coach since Persuable left. I've also coached Prodigy before in Koa 4. And I was a top player back in season 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. I've been away from the community for a while, but as of now, I am just focused on being the coach for my team, and that's all I do for the little time that I have.
I gotcha. And I think one more important thing to mention is that you guys are qualified already for Koa, so we will be seeing you potentially going up against one of these teams here in the future. How does that make you feel?
I'm excited. I'll be honest, that does put a lot of work. Like, I can already tell you the day the bracket is gonna be out. That's gonna be a stressful day. Next Sunday.
Oh, yeah, next Sunday. Oh boy, that's gonna be a fun time for sure. A stressful time for you, but for me, it's gonna be fun to see what the bracket ends up being. To
be honest, after 2 years of amazing brackets. I kind of dread this moment.
This time for sure. This time you'll get a good one. Let's hope.
Fingers crossed.
All right, so with that being said, let's take a look at the first match. Okay, so here we are, onward to game 1, first half. We have Hullabaloo going up against, I believe it was, Antiquarian, Female Dancer, Aeroplanist, and First Officer here. And the map looks to be Leo's Memory. So we got anti-spawning mid, dancer in factory, aeroplanet shack, and officer somewhat near Godkite here. Hullabaloo likely will spawn top right, bottom right, or toward the left. So what do you think? What do you think about this set, GW versus Wolves? You've already seen it, correct?
Yes, so let's assume I'm gonna comment more so as if I haven't seen this part. Just by looking at this spawn right now, they're probably gonna have a good rescue coming up here since they have First Officer. Most of the time when you have First Officer, it's guaranteed that you shouldn't at least get double down. So from the first rescue department, they should be good. Hunter already spawned top right. I think he's probably gonna commit to Aeroplanist here. But then again, it really depends on how much they know the matchup. Just for information, Aeroplanist is not that bad against Hullabaloo, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. So we got a standard build, Hullabaloo from Choi here, trump card Insolence and Peepers. We have full kite on the dancer, Tide knee jerk on both the anti and the Aeroplanist, with a borrowed time Tide on the officer. Pretty standard builds across the board here. So yeah, I said they're gonna chase Aeroplanist. Why do you think Aeroplanist is half decent versus Hull? I'm actually kind of curious.
Because of the distance. Hullabaloo actually struggles versus people who make distance, because that's how you kite Hullabaloo, by staying away from his main body as much as possible. And that's why characters like Finn is also very good against Hullabaloo.
Okay, I gotcha.
Whereas, for example, tanks that take hit, they are good, but once you take the first hit, he becomes a menace.
Yeah, it's always once this character gets the first presence, he just kind of... I always say the second he gets the first presence, he's technically just unkiteable.
Exactly.
Because he just has Blink in his kit. So he's going to drop a Peeper looking for the Aeroplanist here. Aeroplanist is going to be hiding... Never mind.
Oh, that's awkward.
He was not. He was like very out in the open. That's funny.
He really thought the hunter wasn't looking behind him.
Oh, that's so funny. So, I've been seeing some of the later days. I've seen that Wolf survivors are very, very strong. What do you think about the GW survivors? Oh, that was a nasty TS.
Yeah, well, they weren't ready there for sure. I can tell you. And basement.
Oh.
I can tell you this game is not going well.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Wolves so far. I don't even... What are your thoughts? Do you have to rescue in Hullabaloo or can you sell?
To be honest, in a situation like this, you should probably just save for rush and then rescue if you really have to. So for example, here he's forcing them to rescue. That's what he's doing. See? The first officer came close. But even then, the first officer doesn't really want to rescue, at least that early.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be after half it happens. Unfortunately, the clone is going to reveal his location somewhat here. And
if first officer at any point feels that it's not safe to make the rescue, he's probably going to dip. But now he feels confident.
I see. I mean, he still has time. You just got to get in here.
With 2 colors though, he's getting hit beforehand. This is not going to be a clean rescue.
It's going to be double down for sure. Oh, well, actually, he's staying in basement. Maybe. He's going to hover to escape? No way.
He had to, yeah. But that's not going to change anything. Exactly.
Oh, and he saw the officer. He's going to take the time. He knows Titaner is going to last much longer. Oh my gosh, what a snipe.
This is... He knew that the other person didn't have much time left for Tide. That's why he took the liberty to go after the first officer.
Yeah, this is...
And then right back to basement.
And that's a 4K. They only have anti with Tide. Their ciphers are non-existent. Yeah, that's a 4K.
The first officer is right there.
Yep. No need to even do chase.
So now it's actually better if they didn't have the first rescue happen.
You're right. But if they don't rescue, he just pressures. It's this character.
That's the thing though. They had a chance with the next kite. Now it's the target is already on the basement. Not only that, he's already dead and in basement.
Right, and all he's got is a watch for rebound, which, I mean, against a full press Hullabaloo isn't bad. It's probably one of the items that can help you last the longest. But he's in basement, so the routing is going to be so predictable.
And he found anti. Yep. We can already tell this game is a wrap.
Yeah.
Shoei knows exactly what the other person is because they kept decoding, so he has absolutely no problem just committing to this anti.
Yep.
He's keeping her red as much as possible.
Oh yeah, so she can't use the flute. And she's desperately trying to make it, but because of full presence, there's not even a chance. No,
that's actually going to change
chance.
a lot with full presence, with the new nerf that's going to come to Koa. The red is actually only going to activate after 0.3 seconds. That nerf is really big for Hullabaloo.
Right, that's what I've been saying. I'm kind of curious, what survivors do you think will benefit the most from that nerf? Outside of stuff like forward, I've seen forward.
Yes, forward though I don't think will like change much, I guess, because forward isn't good versus Goatman specifically. So you're probably not gonna want to play him because usually what people do is they either counter Hullabaloo or they either fully counter Goatman, but they still need to make sure that they are not going to complete this stupid team comp versus the other hunter.
I see. It's just for some reason JP seems to have a lot of faith in forward round 1. Good fly out from the dancer, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, this game is already over, unfortunately. The biggest misstep here was, again, the first Terror Shock, and I'd like to remind you that the Terror Shock only happened because Shoei mastered exactly how much range the clone will spawn in if you just press it, and then he knew exactly which color will appear on which side. That's the only way you can get a Terror Shocked, with peepers, obviously, to even help you get it in the first place.
That's true. I kind of forget that you can just put up the clone with just tapping the button. Looks like he did it right there. Not many Hullabaloos have done that, actually. I've only really seen Shoei and a couple others do those like instant clones, I guess you could say.
Exactly. It's something you learn when you play Hullabaloo for a very, very long time.
So it just comes down to experience. Because I don't think I've seen a single NAEU Hullabaloo. Not that I see much because of they're always banned in rank, but even from the qualifiers, I don't think a single NAEU Hulla, not even that many JP Hullas did that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, in NA specifically, the problem is because you don't have so many pro teams or like even teams in general, and they don't necessarily scrim each other because we're so little, and we don't necessarily have the best relations between each other. You don't have much experience playing Hullabaloo because you kept playing him in rank, so that's why you lack a lot of experience there.
I see. And I've always wondered, like, when it comes to NAEU teams that have to practice, I mean, especially for you guys, you're always practicing against each other, so you guys all know each other's habits and whatnot. So I can't help but wonder if that forms, like, a sort of bias, I guess, against a certain character,
It does,
perhaps?
yes. It does, yes, indeed. Which is why it's always good to play against other teams when we're able to, yes.
I see. Well, in this situation, nobody's got any self-heal, so essentially it's just a slug-out fest, and they just surrender.
Yes, and there's a surrender indeed.
Yeah.
All of that again because of that one terror shock straight into basement, made sure to pressure anti, made sure to first officer to rescue because he has the clown to see where he is, and then he made sure to double first officer, securing the fact that he already has next target down, which basically sealed the game.
Right. I mean, that was just complete domination from Choi. Well played.
Exactly. And that's also something that you shouldn't do as aeroplanist, is playing too close with the cooldowns. If the clown is ready, you should probably not risk that type of terror shock, especially if you have two colors on you already.
It'd just be a death sentence at that point.
Exactly. Alright, so for the second set here, we have a mech ban, first officer ban, pretty standard for Hullabaloo. The survivors probably already knew it's Hullabaloo. Here you should probably take something like Seer if you're feeling risky, and then a really strong rescuer like Grave, which you don't mind if it's permabanned. With that said, the Coordinator and Acrobat are just good characters overall, and that's pretty much a standard ban and pick from the survivors. As for the builds, it's pretty much gonna be the same thing. 3 characters with no borrowed time, just because you can't really pop ciphers against Hullabaloo and Goatman, especially before their nerf, especially if you're playing against someone you respect. So it'll just have to be a pick of whether you take Flywheel or Tide for the additional time. Since you can't kite him, you might as well just buy time with the rescues.
Right. I know that was very popular during early Sangria meta as well. Just bring 3 Tide Turners and pray for one person out because these hunters are just so strong.
Exactly. If you don't pop the ciphers, what are you going to do with borrowed time?
Exactly. So real quick, I'm kind of curious. There's a bit of a debate going on right now about who's the best rescuer for round 1. Is it Officer or is it Grave? Because Officer has the better rescuing potential, but Grave has the better survivability. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
First Officer is better versus Hullabaloo, and Grave is better versus Goatman. It's that simple.
Really? That's it? Okay.
And the difference isn't that big, and both can be still viable for both. However, I think because Grave can eat a hit, that hurts a lot of Goatman's energy, whereas, for example, for Hullabaloo, he's hurt a lot more by the First Officer getting a free save.
I see.
Alright, and that's an early gun.
Yeah, very early gun. She knew it was safe because once he dropped the peeper, there's not going to be any excitement, but that was a shoot before excitement anyways. I also like that D got some crazy early game snipes with the clone as well on the stairs. That was very good early game clones.
They know exactly where to expect the survivors. That's what happens when you're a top level hunter. You usually have a good visualization or / preparation for where the survivor will be.
Ah, I see. I mean, especially when you're spawning mid, I feel like there's only one option against the Hullabaloo. You gotta go up those stairs.
Yes. Actually, even Spencer practiced that a lot because that's something that happens every single game. Oh, and that's a fine down, more or less. Standard for Hullabaloo.
Around a minute in the game. It's pretty good. He does actually have Wanted Order on this build. Luckily, the Seer has it and not the Grave.
It's always Seer. Yeah. Seer's just gonna decode there, no problem. Although I'll say this, Wolves put a lot of stock in their rescues, and they're perfectly happy sacrificing a lot of Cypher Rush if it means getting free saves or not double downing. So here you can see their double pressure in the rescue.
I see, I see. That kind of makes sense. I mean, well, at the same time, the Cypher Rush needs to happen, but he's going to try to... Wow, he didn't get any injury on the Rescuer, huh?
Exactly. And to be honest, that's all because the Acrobat was able to juke that last hit, or else he would have at least gotten injured.
I see. That's an interesting
Actually,
strategy that they do double rescue and give up Cypher Rush just to make sure there's no double downs.
Exactly. It seems that maybe they just decided that sacrificing Cypher Rush is more important than getting double down, even if you have a Grave.
And now the Grave is here immediately, so he can't even get cut off.
Yeah, you can notice like the Grave and Acrobat barely did any Cypher progress the whole time. Grave was basically getting ready, and then he's getting ready for second save, and Acrobat just started check corner after.
That's a really interesting strategy from Wolves, actually, because it's usually just one rescuer comes in, brute forces it like a Gravekeeper or an Officer or a Puppet, or an Ada, just kind of walk up, take as many hits as you need, get the rescue guaranteed, get double down, and just pray that you can finish the Cyphers in time with brute force. But Wolves' strategy is a bit different.
That was well played. He knew exactly what the Hullabaloo wanted to do, and he went back, and he basically went into the corner, forcing him to either choose, do you change the color, which you can't, or do you just let me be full health. And that's the game difference here. Everyone's full health.
That is kind of insane to think about. Two, not one, but two damageless rescues against Hullabaloo.
Indeed. So what happens when you get a damageless rescue is not necessarily your chances to win are higher, but your chances to tie are much, much higher.
Ah, I see. I mean, I guess that's true because this character does just... Even if you're at full health, all it takes is theoretically 3 little taps and you can go down. But,
The main reason why you can still tie is because if you're full health, usually you're able to die away from a specific cipher, which allows your teammate to use that progress and not have it be lost. That's why it's very good to be full health. That's why it helps a lot for the tie.
I see. Plus you can still go for rescues too.
Yeah, exactly. But if you like trying to 3 escape, that being full health or not doesn't really help unless you're body blocking, and you can't really do that versus Hullabaloo. Maybe BQ, but not Hullabaloo.
Right. You think? I know. I remember hearing that the body block could be viable versus Goatman in the late game, but it really needs like the servers already need to have an advantage for them to be able to do that.
Exactly. And it's like he's harassable in the way that you could body block. And right now, D lost all the momentum he had after that chase. Yep. Grave kited him for way too long.
What a TP'd as the Cypher pop 487 with the perfect pop there. Oh my gosh.
And
was ready just in time.
The only person who had more time is the person who he didn't share.
That's actually kind of unlucky for him.
Yeah, a lot to be expected. That's what people usually run.
Oh wait, the Seer has dungeon. No way, right?
It's gonna be difficult now.
Oh, so close. Couple more seconds, he definitely had that.
Exactly. The only difference here again is 3 rescues, a little rebound, coordinator's chair, all of that contributed to an easy game. And then the chair on top is that lovely kite from Grave at the end, and the way he maneuvered around the double colors, like so many times he only got like one color because he made the Hullabaloo kinda be forced to like only get one color on him. That's the only way he survived. And then he also something different that Wolves XMX does is he always like gets out of the shovel instead of just getting hit out of the shovel. I've noticed that a lot.
Oh, with the explosion thing that the Grave
exactly,
had
yes,
for the distance?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Just to keep it for later, I'm assuming, or just to get distance?
Yes, because he gets to keep the shovel and he also gets to, well, I guess, eat the hit and near the chair instead of eating the hit before he gets to the chair.
Ah, okay, I see. That's interesting. Wolves are crazy, man. They're so good. That's the second time I've seen them draw against Hullabaloo. A good Hullabaloo, not just some random Hullabaloo. That's a good Hullabaloo too.
Yeah, that's honestly the best performing survivors. The best performing survivors against Hullabaloo as of day 2.
That's kind of insane. Wolves, man. They are so strong this year. So now it's time for round 2, first half. Choai is going to be going Opera Singer this time up against Perfumer, Mercenary, Weeping Clown, and Coordinator. Coordinator, yes indeed. So yeah, Sangria round 2, Lakeside Village. I mean, you're aiming for a draw minimum here. Choai already has a pretty solid lead, but obviously you want to try to get a win if you can. I'm of the opinion that in a round 2 situation, hunters need to draw at minimum. They cannot lose. Only round 3 can hunters afford to lose. That's my thoughts on the current meta. I'm not really sure what you think.
I would share the same opinion. Honestly, if you have Ivy and Sangria both mastered, your bottom line should be a tie. If you only have Sangria or Ivy though, it might be hard because if they fully counter comp you, you might not be able to guarantee that tie or 3 kill.
I see. Something interesting to note here is Choai is actually bringing Confined Space with this Opera Singer, and there's also a Weeping Clown on the team, which I feel like Ivy matches up better into Weeping Clown because you can scare him off the rocket, and Opera somewhat struggles against him because if she doesn't have first presence, it's going to take her forever to catch up to him.
I would agree for the most part, indeed, yes. Although he did seem to avoid spawning into the weapon, so that's good for him.
That's true. I guess the Weeping Clown is all the way at Big Boat, but I've seen Weeping Clown spawn Big Boat. He gets chased, rockets to Small Boat, and then they kite there for a little bit, and then he rockets back to Big Boat, and then he rockets back to Small Boat.
That's a very famous route.
It's so funny.
Ooh. He doesn't seem to know where his target is. He might just go straight to middle or flip back.
Trying to find out is this the dancer here? No, the coordinator, my bad. There is no dancer. I got mixed up with Perfumer.
Check, nothing, and then straight for Perfumer, who had to be a check.
I see.
So he did lose a lot early game. He couldn't find a target, so they decoded for free. He's already in behind, so now this is probably only a tie. Unless he can use his blink to tear shock or something like that, or maybe use the blink to make sure the Perfumer can't perfume, and then oh, never mind. We guess we could chase in the Weeping Clown.
And that's a hit. Wow. I'm actually kind of surprised. Maybe that's that horsefly effect not triggering yet.
Yeah. That was a very quick hit for Weeping Clown.
And that actually might be a down. Oh, but a beautiful flywheel from Dragon. Oh my gosh.
Indeed.
I'm not really sure why he has... Wow, Choi is actually reading Dragon like a book.
And then the blink makes sure he gets him. He made sure to kill him before the rocket is started again. And now that's an early down. Now he's much back into the game.
Yeah, it was just 2 hard reads. I noticed how Choi didn't even need to wait for the Weeping Clown to vault the window. He'd already doubled back early, which was just insane. And then it read that he would fall down and not continue going up the ramp. Just 2 hard reads from Choi.
To be honest, it's quite simple to see if you're in like a spectator, because you're an injured survivor. You're probably gonna want all the distance you have to survive, which means Weeping would probably tend to vault earlier than he would be. So as long as Choi makes a good enough commitment to go up, the Weeping Clown will probably fall for it.
I see. And it looks like he's gonna die all the way out here toward the Shack Cypher somewhat. But this allows Choi to pressure the Perfumer's Cypher now, so I don't know why he died over here.
I think that was the best way from a Cypher Rush perspective. I'm not sure Perfumer is going to rescue. They would have loved if she had tied, but she doesn't. So now I think she might either just sell, or she might just take the kite, and then if he pressures her too much, she might just like pressure the save, or maybe fake it as the person behind her gets the save for free.
Ah, I see, the backdoor.
Okay, so Choi, based on the body language, he realized she's not coming, so he's expecting someone else from the opposite direction.
Ah, the body language. I see.
Yes.
I feel like that's not talked about enough. Interesting.
Yeah, that's how he understood that.
Oh, beautiful flare dodge! Oh my gosh!
Here's the thing with Coordinator, you always want to make sure she's injured before she saves, because that makes her like a much easier target. She can always die as she shoots, so that's very important. But the problem now is, oh, that was a good dash.
It was. I just gotta say, these interactions are insane, and the Perfumer is only using these just to stop for time.
Again, the only reason Perfumer is doing this is because she was already here, so it might as well. Because if she's using her 3 perfumes to help someone kite, as long as she can body block the doors and stuff, etc., like she is now, they would get a lot more benefit rather than if this was, you know, with only 3 people are left. Same like mentality with Tide. If you rescue with Tide Turner, if you have 4 people in the game, that Tide Turner gives you more decoding than if you were to rescue like maybe when 3 people are left, because only 1 person is decoding at that point.
And forced out a second blink. That's kind of insane. I've never seen Perfumer be that consistent. That kind of stuff, yeah, I've seen them do it temporarily in even some of my matches, but body blocking multiple times over and over to continue a loop?
Yeah. There's one problem though. Here's the trade-off. Everyone's injured, and they basically traded hits for more Cypher progress and more time. So the problem now is everyone is a one-hit kill, and nobody has items for the most part.
Right. I mean, yeah, in this situation, only the Mercenary has items, and Choi's now gonna wither those out real quick. I guess the one saving grace that they don't have to do it though is no trump card.
Yes, luckily, but I'm not sure that they necessarily noticed that in the early game, but maybe they did like when they're in the shack interactions.
Ah, I see. Yeah, the Mercenary also took that hit. Choi is just going to say, hey, you heal so slowly. If somebody comes to heal you, they're just going to waste more decoding time, which means I can freely switch targets here to the coordinator. Oh, barely missing that hit!
Barely indeed. His mindset was, if I chair you, that Cypher is going to be primed, they will send someone injured, and then it's not going to matter. He wants to make sure that Cypher doesn't pop at all.
Look at the patience from both players here. Both players with insane levels of patience.
Notice how Choi didn't cancel his dash. Like, he made sure to like land in that one shadow in behind, and that's it.
Right, and now gonna chair as well before the Cypher's prime too.
Here's the thing though, that Cypher should not have been primed. It's only primed because Coordinator basically outplayed Choi for 10 seconds, 20 seconds straight.
Right, that was just a really solid mind game. But now Choi's going to force an early pop before the rescue even happens.
If he even forces it, to be honest. Here's the thing though, I think they are pretty safe. If he had trump card, he could abnormal here. But because they probably know he doesn't, they can afford to do this.
And now you have the Mercenary here who just has the, Oh, but the no borrowed time.
It doesn't matter for them. Here's the plan. Just force a gate, open it with Mercenary at least. Force him to stay on you as long as possible, and hopefully the other gate will be open in time. And if neither of them is shared in time, they can always rescue each other.
But the Merc has no self-heal though, that's the thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. So now he just leaves Mercenary on the ground and just puts Perfumer here, and he just needs to make sure he knows where Mercenary is going.
That should be 3k.
Again, he needs to make, but he can't get the 4k though. He needs to make a choice.
He actually is going for it. He doesn't make it though. Yeah, that's definitely. Oh, you definitely don't make that.
Yeah, there's no way. If Mercenary had self-heal, this would be a completely different game, and I might have been able to tie it. But just because of that, it's not gonna be a tie. So if I resume the game, Choi played well with his kite, with the way he chased that Weeping Clown, but because they were able to harass with the Perfumer and body block effectively for 30 seconds, especially with that pallet with the Perfume is a power position. The Hunter couldn't really do anything. All of that made sure that they at least are back in the game when it comes to decoding, even though everyone was injured. Here's the thing, as long as you don't insta-die on a Cypher specifically, you might be able to pop. And just to note, they made sure that they kept decoding, because if you don't decode, the Hunter will just come to you and kill you anyways. So they just made sure to keep decoding. They made sure the person who has items is gonna be the one who does it, because if it's someone who will insta-die, they will just die and they say game over. But they put the strongest person who was there, which is Merc. And then they made sure to also start the other backup Cypher as soon as possible. All of that with the Coordinator's kite is what allowed them to even pop and have a chance at a one-man fight.
Right, that was honestly really impressive from GW. Even though they didn't win the match, I felt like the teamwork and the strategy there was just on point. I've never seen Perfumer played like that before, at least to that consistent level, just getting the, like, becoming a loop, becoming a palette essentially. Because I don't even think Perfumer's that great in the current meta, but
She's not.
They sure made really good use of her though.
And for this set specifically, we have an Ivy. An Ivy against Sweepin, Acrobat, Ada, and Merc. You can tell the survivors actually have good comp against Ivy, minus the weapon. The Ivy's bans were very obvious. When you ban Finn, Mechanic, Barmaid, Arrow, that does scream a lot like Ivy. And specifically D is someone who plays Ivy and Sanguinea on the same level almost, so that makes sense. And now with the spawn, the survivors are just gonna go for a typical spawn, Mercenary on the left, Weapon will be a big boat, and then you'll have the two characters, Acrobat and Ada, at small boat and at Shack. D spawned on the left. I think his idea is that he wants to control the three people on the left and he wants to bother them as much as possible. That's probably his mindset.
I see. For builds wise, we have everybody with borrowed time this time. A Flywheel, Weeping Clown, Knee Jerk on the Acro and Ada, Tide on the Mercenary, and then Ivy with the standard Detention, Insolence, and Blink build here.
Most teams don't go like more than one suicide build on second round because you can actually tie or win Sangrias and Ivies, and you can actually pop. So that means borrowed time actually becomes useful now.
Right, as opposed to round one where it's just pray, get one out.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, round one. That's so scary, dude.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I don't have to play and I just have to coach my team to play. That's it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, as fun as like doing the tournament with you guys in the past was, it was also just really scary as well. But you know, that's part of the fun of it. So we're gonna see D chase the Ada first. I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on Ivy's chasing Adas, because it takes a lot longer for them to get the down, but they're usually full presence once they get the down. So how good is that trade-off?
I don't think chasing Ada is necessarily the best idea. However, now because of that early hit, this actually becomes a good chase.
Right, and you're always saying that the best thing to do as Ada is to delay the first hit as long as possible, and D-King was not really able to do that.
Exactly, that was 30 seconds in the match. If he was able to get that hit 1 minute into the match, this game would be very much different for the Ivy.
Right, because now she can do Corrosion for probably third hit and Blink for second hit, I'm guessing here?
Exactly. And by the time she gets her hit, she gets her Blink and the Corrosion, and she can yep, there you go, that's the first Blink, and now she can just leech again and TP on her worst case, which is probably what she wants to do.
The ciphers aren't even that good here either.
The Cypher Rush was a bit slower just because the person at Big Boat was blocked.
Oh really? I thought it would also be like a little bit of rotation as well. I guess the team
for the most part
is a little slow on the decoding as well with Weeping and Merc. They're a total of -40 here, it looks like.
Yeah, well, apparently also Mercenary went to Shack as well, which is interesting. I think Mercenary expected Ivy to control him, so like keep leeching him, so he just went to Shack to avoid all of that. So now if you look at the situation now, this is not very good for Ivy. This is probably a tie. Forcible tie, like survivors can do good rescues and they should be in a good position to tie.
Right, she gets to pressure 2 ciphers real quick. Mercenaries coming in.
It's not gonna matter because the ciphers are primed practically. See, they can just eat it.
Oh yeah, that's
so
true.
It's fake pressure. If the cipher is not primed, it's actually important. But now it's just fake pressure.
And she's never gonna TP onto one of those if it's gonna give a free rescue, which they did actually get a free rescue.
Yes, that was well played by XMX. Although, like I said, it doesn't really help them with the 3 escape, I guess, but it does help them for sure with the tie. Especially because Mercenary can save twice if he wants to.
Right, and there's no other sets of tie turners, so you definitely want to do that. Plus the team is looking great on items still. 2 elbow pads, Mercenary, 3 rockets on the Weeping, 3 balls on the Acrobat. Probably will get another one here soon from the decoding. So they're going to have plenty of resources.
Indeed, they don't have another tie turner though, so if they want to push for the win, it really will depend on the body blocking. As you can see, it's probably going to be the Rescuer again. Mercenary, and they will try to body block to try and go for the win.
We'll see. Needs a clean rescue first. Oh, well. Ah, that's unfortunate. Couldn't
And
get
there
it.
you go. Even though like everyone's full health, if you don't get the body block, there is no point in your full health.
Ooh, get a quick little extra hit though. That's something.
Exactly. However, if he doesn't, if he cannot like stop this cipher from popping, that that extra hit won't matter. It looks like he's able to.
Yeah, now we enter that late game Ivy where she can now pressure the last 3 ciphers, having one of her. Oh, okay, good blink. Beautiful flyout from the Weeping too.
Yes, Jelly is a very, very consistent player. You can see how he flywheel to the side to make sure that he doesn't get out of the corrosion. So he makes sure that his corruption does get to 100 and then gets cancelled.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that'd be a shame if you flywheeled out of the circle
Exactly.
and stayed at 99.
Exactly. Yes.
And yeah, the pressure is on now. 48 on one cipher, 73 on another. They'll probably have to start up shore, I imagine, sometime soon.
The big bow cipher is ahead though. He's probably not going to be able to block it for a very, very long time. It's probably going to get to 90 at least.
He could also force it if he wants to get greedy. We'll see. Nope, he doesn't want to get greedy. Okay. They're playing it safe. That makes sense.
Again, they're doing another cipher, so all they need to do is just buy time.
Right.
And make sure that, you know, you don't just give her free hits and no decoding progress in the meantime. So they're doing a very, very good job at that.
Yeah, I feel like whenever I see Wolves as survivors, there's never any wasted movement. When it comes to like their decision making, it's always just on point. They're always where they need to be at the right time.
Yeah, the way you beat wolves is you need to kill them fast to begin with. You cannot just win by, you know, going around and wasting items. You have to have a good chase for you in the beginning, and then you need to capitalize off of that. If they're in a comfortable position, they know how to take the game to a time minimum.
I see, I see. Do you think you consider Wolves at the moment right now to be one of, if not the best, survivor teams in the world?
Top 3, yes.
Top 3,
in China
okay.
Specifically. I'll ignore Japan and others for now, but in China they are top 3 survivors, and if it's versus Hullabaloo, they're top 1.
Ooh, okay, I see. I mean, they're definitely showcasing how strong they are in these matches, that's for sure. They still actually have plenty of resources here. Weeping Clown actually baited the Ivy in, did not get full presence.
And now, she doesn't have full presence now.
But wins the mind game, so Merc's gonna go down, but Weeping Clown is there for the Cypher. She's gonna have to make a choice between the Cypher and the rescue, though.
Or the chair, yep.
And she's choosing to chair.
If she doesn't chair there, he would actually get up, and that would be a much different situation for her.
Yeah, because everybody's got BT. She knows that. Nobody with no borrowed time to take advantage of this time. But Weeping can't just pop the Cypher. He is at half. Oh, well, the tablet actually spawns below.
Yeah,
This is the one time where having Big Bow as a last Cypher is not that good. Is that a drop down hit?
Yeah, it is. She also canceled her rocket. Now they're not in a very, very good position. They just rescued on the other side, but now she's going to get to chair in basement.
Oh, that's going to be tricky. I mean, they still have an Acrobat at full health, which is their last shot at this, honestly. Where's the mercenary? He's just 47, just going for it.
He's probably gonna go for the Cypher. Yep, there he is.
So now she has to make another choice. Go for Cypher or camp. She's gonna camp. He could try to rocket here, maybe. Another body block play from Wolves.
She gets the main body. Double stun.
Oh.
Slow bomb.
Slow bomb into rocket, huh?
Yeah, that's what we like to call hunter abuse.
Ah. A no recovery hit. What is going on? There's so many tricks being used. Can they pop? They can't even pop. The mercenary's not there. What's going on?
This game is kinda going south right now.
There are so many tricks being used from both sides.
Yep. It seems that the survivors don't want to force a pop because they're not in a position to win. So the mindset is if we pop now without being in a good position, we already lose. So we might as well just fight to see if we can get into a good position.
I see, I see. I mean, if they all just rush the Cypher, is there any way to...
Now this is a good position for them.
Ivy drops down, but nobody's at the Cypher right now.
Nobody's at the Cypher and someone already got the save.
But Merc's here.
They
Merc can force it.
Exactly. See the difference between the previous situation and this one? You can't kill Merc, and then Merc just pops.
Pops and then it instantly leaves. He's gone.
Look at the gate. Look at the gate. It's already been worked on. It's too late. You can't go for the gate. That's one out for sure.
Right, and you need to get a 3K to force a round 3 in this situation, but it's not going to happen.
And because of the first game, there's probably a 3-round score, or even more if I'm not mistaken, which means you probably need to do very well in round 3 even if you tie this round. Which realistically speaking, if you wanted to play this on an even level, you would probably need to 4K this, which is already not going to happen.
Right, and that's why round 1 is just the most important round.
It sets the tone. That one escape more than the other team in round 1, if the other team got 4K'd, that's a 3-point difference.
Yeah, it sets the pace for the rest of the set, and that's it.
The 3-point difference means even if you lose a round, as long as you lose by only like 1 escape less, and then you tie another round, you're still gonna win the set. Yeah, that's it. And Wolves takes it.
That was an impressive game from the Hunter and the Survivors. Wow.
Yeah, the Ivy really knew what she was doing, but Wolves also prepared well. And to be honest, they did mess up. They got the chairs at basement twice, but somehow the Ivy messed up afterwards by camping the Cypher when she should have, and that allowed them to get a free rescue, and then basically Merc went for the Cypher and he primed it for free. That's when she lost it. That's when the game completely went back into the Survivors' favor. And that's what the Survivors wanted. If she had stayed in basement there, I feel like it would be a different situation because someone would have to save, and then they would have to also send someone to the Cypher, as opposed to three people out and about, and then someone's already at the gate, and then someone who is Merc can just pop by himself instead of, you know, needing 2 survivors just to pop the Cypher because you're already injured.
Right. I mean, that situation took such extreme levels of game sense and experience that I'm sure so many people probably just would have force popped the Cypher there. I know I would have just force popped the Cypher. I'd just be like, we gotta just get this done. But Wolves they're just built different. They know that they have an opportunity that they can create.
Yeah, they played that well, and again, they understood if we pop now, we're gonna lose because we have no great progress.
Dang, they really are so good at forcing ties.
Yes, and that's exactly what I expected from them because Wolves is a very, very solid team. They have their basics down to the T.
That's just crazy. Seriously impressive. Congratulations to Wolves for winning the set.
They earned it.
Okay, guys, that is going to be it for today. Once again, big thanks to Aron for coming on and commentating with me. It was fun getting to hear, analysis from a pro coach, because I just do these videos for fun, but hearing somebody with, top level insight reviewing these matches is, it's really great to hear. It's wonderful to hear your experience.
Again, it was a pleasure to be here with you, Zeez. I always love watching streams with you. I'll try to be more on the streams for the next weekend. No promises though, life of a busy coach.
Yeah, I feel that.
Oh, those are honestly some good match. Wolves were really dominant, but then GW also tried really hard. That Perfumer kite, the Perfumer harass and the body block and the pallet. But then even Wolves showed why they're a stronger team with how solid they can even play the Ivy, even in a situation where basement is happening and Last Cypher is there. Even though that was a rough situation, they somehow managed. That was really, really well played.
Yeah, I'm just impressed by how much patience and game sense that they have, because I just know that so many people would have just popped and then just prayed.
I would have popped.
But Wolves, they're just on another level. They really are. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks again to Aron for coming out. It was a huge pleasure recording this with you. Of course, best of luck to Rivals when those brackets are released. I really hope you have yourselves a good bracket this year.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, indeed. But yeah, that's going to be it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.